Hello and welcome to Nerdarchy. For nerds, by nerds, I'm Nerd Dave. And today I'm joined by these fine nerds. We've got Robin Miller in the house. We've got Bobby Partridge in the house, and Carlos Rivera, our friends and guests, which you can find links to down in the description. Of course, Nerdarchy Ted and myself, Nerdarchy Dave, is here. We're going to be playing some Zoo Mafia RPG. Steven or Bobby is going to be our zookeeper tonight, and maybe you noticed we had a Kickstarter for it for the game. It did not fund, but we're going to try again. There's a link in the description to sign up for the next Kickstarter when we relaunch. We're going to polish some things up and see if we can't get this puppy across the finish line so that we can put it in your hand. With that, let's turn it over to our illustrious zookeeper, Bobby.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Zoo Mafia Blood Moonshine. This is a horror mystery intrigue thriller. So if you don't like horror stuff, like be advised that's what this is. Find some other great stuff on Nerdarchy. There's a lot of videos. That being said, we always start out by talking about how much we love our Sirenscape, because that's what we do our music through, as you should be able to hear right now. And also, we like to open up with a little bit of a recap. So I'm going to roll my trusty dice and see who it lands on. Okay, Robin, that's you.
Oh, God. Okay. I remember the small animal exhibit getting set on fire, not being able to find my spider, and then my spider showing up at the end of the mission to give some information to, I think, Dave's character, was it?
Carlos, I think, because he was getting out.
Oh crap, was it?
It was one of them.
Yeah. All right. It's been a whole week, and I have a terrible memory. You know what? I said something though, and I need to leave room for other people to remember things. Hey, Carlos, do you want to tell us what my spider gave you?
What is good, internet? My name is Carlos Rivera. I run the Mechanic Knight YouTube channel. I'm going to be 259% honest. I have also had a lot of things happen. I was sick majority of the weekend, so my mind just went kaput at some point. But I am playing Carl, a chimpanzee goon, here to rough up whoever is going to get rough with it. With that, I'm going to pass it off to Ted.
Hey everybody, I'm Nerdarchy Ted. If you've been around Nerdarchy for a while, you might have a clue who I am. Tonight I'll be playing Alejandro the Button. And what happened with me is we hit the go button and my internet crapped out in a crazy New Jersey storm. So the only thing I can tell you is that the monstrosities that have been kind of showing up now and again because of this, evil blood moonshine and what have you, they fought a chimera. I don't know where I was, but they got to fight different people like Goatsby and what have you that have all been stitched and sewn together. So utter craziness. And with that, I'll toss it to Dave.
It was a complete blast. The Chimera was made up completely of various NPCs that we met along the way, because we had the snake tail, the Komodo dragon, the wings. I'm not sure where the wings came from, but there was also that lion detective guy as well. It was fantastic. The things were on fire. A nosy reporter took some pictures they shouldn't have, and they had a mishap with their camera and it blew up right in our face. Very unfortunate. All in all, it was a good time. And also, the siblings. Well, I want to say they're twins. I want to call them the twins, but they're not twins, I believe. Jasper Jade's sisters also got into a bit of trouble as well. So in the future, we may have to arm them because they seem to get into a lot of trouble. Oh, and I will be playing Flick, and I am a sugar glider. Look out! And with that, take it away, Steven or Bobby.
All right. So we are going to open up in the bathroom of one Jasper/Jade. you're currently developing photos in said bathroom, and you finally got your first clear image of the predator. In this image, you see that this reporter managed to catch a snapshot of the crime that took place at the Blind Pig at Carlo Hambino's establishment. You see, soaked in the blood of almost 100 different animals, is a koala. As he has literally Carlo Hambino's severed arm in his mouth, the warthog screaming in the picture. His eyes are red, the koala's, that is. His teeth have morphed, elongating almost into like these fangs, and his fingers have sprouted these razor talons. You see that the koala's physique looks not dissimilar from a normal koala's, just buffer, maybe. And though it's a still image, you can see evidence of where this koala's taken injuries that have already begun healing. And there are very few koalas in this particular zoo. And the main one that you know of is the straight-laced, goody two-shoes, trying to clean up the town mayor, Eugene Calyptus. That's where we're opening.
Okay. I will collect whatever pictures that I can where he is clearly in them, and I will prepare myself to share them with my friends.
Okay.
And when I call you guys together for this, I'm gonna like come to the table with a little bit of theatricality. It's gonna be like, you guys are never going to believe what we just found out. And I'm like slapping down files on the table in front of them, like, check this out. And then I like sit in my chair sideways because bi people can't sit in chairs correctly.
Pull up with this. Holy moly. Oh, I've done some brutal things in my life, but this is horrendous. Oh god. Is he eating? Is he just got some hole in his mouth? Jesus. Ah.
I mean, we knew that the scene was gruesome and that the photos were going to be gruesome, but look at the guy in it.
Do we recognize that koala?
Yeah.
Are there other koalas in the zoo? And is there any chance that this is someone trying to make it look like it's the mayor, but it's really not?
Go ahead and put your peepers to work.
I'm going to laugh so hard if all of the other koalas in the zoo are female.
So that is going to be an 8.
8. Okay. So success with the consequence. So you succeed at knowing this is absolutely this is the mayor. This is like, the guy's not wearing clothes. It's the mayor. And just because I like the idea, yeah, Robin, all the other koalas are females. So it's pretty apparent who this is. That being said, your consequence is that you can see in the backdrop your friend and confidant looking through the window. So she's seen this as well. Which, you know, the consequence may be good or bad. You don't know. But Mina is in the window of the other side of the building of where this photo was taken.
This presents many problems. pass the photo along to whoever hasn't looked at it yet. I can't necessarily move against the mayor, considering all of the problems we already have.
Right.
What?
But this is. Sorry.
But at the same time, if we try and deliver this to law enforcement, they're going to question, how we got it, and it's how reliable it is, and that's only going to allow them to dig deeper into all of the things that we've been doing. And that's not good either.
What I was going to bring to the table in this particular situation is that what we know is that that's the predator, but we don't know that he was in control when this happened. The way I see it, we need him to stop, but do we necessarily need to stop him by removing him from the board? How much like us is he?
I can only imagine if they're doing that. There's not much in the way of control.
Which calls into question the culpability of doing it in the first place. But I am sure that the Fuzz wouldn't see any complication there.
So
I could probably get those pictures to someone who could do something.
I raise a brow, sit up, and just kind of look at you, and I say nothing. I wait for you to elaborate.
Fine. So you remember how we ran into my ex at the party?
Oh,
Right.
the one that said my hair was bad. I mean, it was, but fuck her. Go on.
Yeah. No, been there, done that. I have a t-shirt. So it turns out she was doing some snooping of her own, and did not turn to a life of prostitution, but was actually undercover. She's part of G-Force.
Oh, so she did something worse.
Well, yes, much worse. But that being said, they have resources that we don't, and actually, I think they have scruples that we don't. Less scruples than we do as well.
So Alejandro looks up, and it's like this hole just keeps getting deeper.
Well,
Right. I wouldn't hesitate to sick somebody like that on someone like McDonald, but we don't actually know that this guy is choosing to do any of this, that he would choose to do any. For all we know, he could be absolutely disgusted with himself that this keeps happening, or confused, or scared.
yeah,
right,
but
well,
the end result is the end result.
Oh, he could be liking it. Who knows?
Let's ask this question. On the front side, Mayor Smiles, Koala Bear, whatever, wants to clean up and get rid of all of this fun crime that we have going on. And then on the other side, how many definitive predator attacks have there been? And who has been what would be listed as the primary target?
If I'm being honest, I am way more concerned with stopping whoever keeps bubblegum and duct taping creatures together like that's any kind of okay than I am worried about getting torn apart. I know which one I'd prefer to undergo
she
myself.
Drives, she takes the wheel. I want to be passenger prince for once.
But we can't, if we've got ways to solve problems, then we should solve them. And right now, we have a little bit more information on, stopping this predator. So if we put our oh so wise heads together, I'm certain that we can get out of a jam.
I think you're right about that. I don't know. I'm tempted to just go talk to the guy. Because think about it. We have photographic evidence. We know he did this. We can prove he did this. Not turning him over to the G spot would probably be the best thing to do in terms of not being unable to sleep at night for the rest of my life. But I wouldn't feel bad at all about blackmailing him.
Well, what if he's not aware? What if it is a Jekyll and Hyde type situation?
We can prove it to him.
Or it could be a doctored photo of us trying to bribe an official member of the government.
I mean, it's not one. I developed it myself, and I don't know how to do that, but I do hear what you're saying.
Right. Well, we have to look at this, how he's going to look at it. And we don't have all the information. So while I'm all for let's go guns a-blazing, find a way to get him alone somewhere and put him down, that's what you want to do, I'll pull out, Big Bessie and we'll just get to town. But short of that, I think we need more information before we can move ahead in any direction.
Will he be at the party? Oh god, is the party even still happening? Goatsby's kinda...
Let's...
Yeah, but it's a little morbid, don't you think, to just carry on with the celebration even though he's...
Do they even know?
Yeah, pretty sure we're the only ones.
And
that
who's
know,
doing it, right?
considering
Like, whoever's
we
pulling
put
the
'em down.
strings, they might be controlling the other aspect of our lives. Because they're not capable of doing it anymore.
I think
That's
getting
fair, we-
dialed up and... Go ahead.
Also don't know how long they'd been like that.
It's true.
I think getting dialed up and having some, words with some higher ups, rub elbows, if you will, you might be able to glean some more information and figure out what the best plan of action is from there.
All right, let's see what we can find out.
Alejandro, I think Betsy should be your last resort, because I don't know that you're going to even put a dent in
It's sure a last resort, but it's a scenario of,
let me
if that's
reiterate.
what the plan was.
Let me reiterate. I think Big Betsy is just going to be a speed bump on the road to you being eviscerated.
Yeah.
You all saw what happened at Hambino's place.
Yeah, but Hambino's arm isn't gonna crawl back to his body and reattach itself.
Yeah, but neither is Alejandro's until midnight. There's a lot of mischief it can get up to between, whatever goes down at midnight.
When you guys bring up the whole thing about all the shenaniganery with what happens on midnight, Carl almost looks like he remembers something. You say I think I might have a way to hurt that critter and take him down. As I pull up a very particular straight razor, gifted from Al Capone. It's supposed to help us out in our fight. I know. It looks like I get a nice shave going on, but nah. Evidently, this thing can hurt some of these baddies. But I don't know. Haven't had a chance to test it out yet.
So I'm gonna like reach over and with the back of my arm just kind of like a little cut, you know?
Mm-hmm. When you do, the blood fizzles and fizzes, sort of like peroxide hitting something that it's cleansing. And it's metallic and glittery when it does it because this blade is made of pure silver.
Okay, so I am definitely a monster. Also, I believe you. That will definitely work.
Well, we gotta show our appreciation to our patron then. Well,
How'd she know?
well, turns out she's playing in the dark further than we originally thought. Overheard some of the conversations, but yeah, have a feeling the owl might be in on this as well, to some extent. I mean, it makes sense. Bump
Like-
off Handino.
Does she have any clue who's playing, puppet puzzle master? These combined things?
For all I know, she's sending us out to do our own little experimentations for her while she sits perched up high on her roost, but I don't know. I have no idea at this point. What's that thing one of you smart people said about doing more research, right? Something like that.
Well, I guess we can go to the party and see what we can learn there.
So Bobby, what information do we have on the number of predator attacks that there has been?
So, you are aware that, you know what? Put your peepers to work because I think that this is important enough that it needs a roll. You can either put your peepers to work or start spitting. I'll give you the choice.
Only going to be an 8.
An 8? Okay. As far as you're aware, at least all of the predator attacks that have been publicized have been against either people tied to the criminal underground or the exceedingly wealthy.
Okay. Based on what we know, it's like it's targeted, but it's not just the underworld. If there's wealthy in it as well, then it sounds like it's far more controlled. And that's just as bad, if not worse, than everything else that's going on.
Think they got some kind of
Especially-
Hellfire Club going on?
I mean, unfortunately, Predator is just probably a cat. And, all the people that I would have all turned up as parts and monsters. So, the question is, who's behind all of this, pulling the strings? I don't think it's the underworld necessarily or wealth. I think it's power that's.
I think it's Capone.
No.
How
Oh,
about
I wouldn't put.
how
it
about
past
another? How about another option?
Go on.
Remember at the last party, I believe Flick, you might have had your attention drawn mostly towards your old flame, but paid attention to who she was with. That one just doesn't get enough attention when The humans are around. He flaunts it. He needs more. He struts. I would not put it past Fernando to be orchestrating things to gain more prestige than he's already got.
I just don't think he's got the meat or the withdrawal. You know, he may very well have the desire, but I don't know that he has what it takes to act. He really does.
Very good at talking to. He's very good at talking to people. He's very good at getting people to do what he wants. Once the pieces just start falling into place, a little bit of information can do an awful lot.
I was pretty sure
It's just an idea.
I was pretty sure he's just a pompous blowhard.
I've got no evidence, but like I said, I wouldn't put it past him.
I mean, heck, if you just want to go shoot him because you want to go shoot him, we can do that.
I mean, we could literally stop over on our way to the party. We could.
I would like to shoot him, but that's against the rules and protocols here. So.
Yeah, it's against the rules and protocols here, but one of the enclosures just burned down. I think the rules and protocols have gone out the window.
Well, what if he slips and falls by his watering hole?
And how are we going to orchestrate that?
With a banana peel.
Oh, I was thinking we just all hold him down.
As Carl's like holding his mail. What?
I was just thinking Carl just holds his head under the water, and that's how he slips.
And then we plant a banana peel.
You know, we plant a banana peel. But not only will he have died, it would have been in a ridiculous fashion.
Jasper, why you going to dig into my stash for? These are hard-earned bananas.
We don't want the banana, we just want the peel. It's okay.
Okay. Alright, I'll provide. As I finish up my breakfast and give you my peel.
I will stash that away in my inventory in like a little Ziploc baggie if we have those in the 20s, and if not, it's a drawstring pouch.
That's fair. And so this is the night before the party. This is still that holiday night, by the way. And sunrise is approaching fast. So does anyone want to do anything really quick in the last 15 minutes before they need to get back to their enclosure?
Oh, the only thing I want to do is get back to my enclosure and make sure that my sisters are still tucked in.
Okay, I was presuming they're in your enclosure right now.
Oh, or is that where we are?
Yeah, I thought that was where
Okay.
you're meeting.
I'm
since you
fine with
developed the
that,
photos.
but I've been looking around this whole time to make sure my sisters didn't hear me casually talking about killing someone who doesn't deserve it.
Okay.
He deserves it.
Oh, yeah.
Roll a d6 for me.
Oh, God. No, 2.
They definitely overheard and were listening in.
Oh, God. Do I at least not know that?
Pick even or odd.
Even.
You know it.
Yep. I'll have to explain this later.
Okay.
I am definitely gonna be drumming up all of the bad things that Ted said about this guy so that I can clear it with my sisters and be like, look, no, he's a bad person. This is
Come on,
really
come on,
okay. It's fine if they're bad people.
You're a
Okay.
grifter. You know how to make up all kinds of stories. You can come up with a laundry list of real and fake things that
But
this guy did.
they
that
might not want to
deserves be
lie
put
to
down.
their siblings.
I don't think
Well,
Rowan liked it much either.
Uh
I don't know if you guys just heard him yelling.
uh.
But yeah, I will. I will
Okay.
frame this. I will spin this. Watch me.
Okay. So everyone goes back to their enclosures. Of course, everyone can mark off that they're healed because come next midnight, you will have recovered all of your hit points all over again. But I would like in the middle of the day, because this is just that kind of a game, I would like everyone to put their peepers to work in the middle of the day.
Pretty.
There are a number of things that you can find this particular day. because a lot happened
Ooh.
last night.
It's a 10 for me.
10,
9.
9,
Looking at a 12.
12. Oh,
Well, let's just say I get to level up.
hey, level up. Go for it.
It's gonna be a 6 with the neutral boss showing.
Okay. So,
Wait, 6, 7. I'm stupid as shit. 7, excuse me.
so
I'm here. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I don't know why. My brain had a quick dyslexia for like 5 seconds. I'm like, wait a minute. No, that's passable. 7.
So you got a 7. Okay.
Neutral boss
cool.
showing.
Technically, if it was on the
Neutral
dice, it would be
boss.
dysnomia.
Okay. Neutral boss.
Okay.
So you get success with the consequence. And is that it? There's nothing else listed here, just success with consequence.
Yes, because the neutral boss exasperates whatever is going on.
Okay, gotcha. So I'm just gonna start with Carl, and we're gonna work our way up numerically, and basically each person up numerically, you know all the previous things plus your new thing. Okay? So Carl,
Yes.
firefighters came early in the morning to deal with that small animal's enclosure, and everything is abuzz. There are talks that the human mafia was responsible. No one's quite sure why, but they did manage to discover a store of peanut rum in the enclosure, which they are currently attributing to the human mafia. Robin,
Yes.
you hear whispers that there's a zookeeper missing. One of the keepers of the zoo, one of the human zookeepers is missing.
Oh, God, that's serious.
And they think that he may be the one responsible for the fire. He may be the inn that the human mafia had. Alejandro, you're pleased with your information because another missing person, or person as you would consider them, is in fact Fernando, the tiger. He is also missing this morning, nowhere to be seen. And it is a big deal to the humans that the tiger is missing. They're not sure if he escaped or if something else happened to him with all this mafia nonsense going on with the human mob and the zoo and setting things on fire. Maybe someone wanted a nice fur rug. So there is that at play. And last but not least, Flick. G-Force is out in force, even during the daytime. They have sent covert operatives everywhere in the daylight, hiding from the humans, trying to piece together what is going on. Someone is breaking a lot of the rules. A lot of the rules. And as night falls and midnight strikes yet again, as it does, and we love it, all of you will recover your hit points. And a new night has come, but this night carries with it an air of solemnity, an air of somber gravity, because this zoo has been changed. The small animals area is quartered off, it's sectioned off. There are rumors and panic spreading en masse that the zoo's going to be shut down, that it's entirely possible that everyone gets moved.
When you know the humans leave and we resume our normal life, is Mina?
You go to Mina?
Yeah.
Okay. So, if you go to her, her enclosure is not dissimilar from yours, but her apartment that's hidden from prying eyes is vastly different. You see candles everywhere. There are different patron saints of this cat-like religion that you are only peripherally familiar with from your visions and memories. They're depicted on these glass candles that are lit all over the place. She has dangling, they're almost like dream catchers if dream catchers looked more like spider webs and didn't actually have things dangling from them. She has herbs drying and hanging in a corner, and there is a shelf, an entire shelf dedicated to books that look like something you might find in a Halloween department store. She has a deck of what you would recognize as tarot cards on her table. And the entire room is lit with that soft orange glow of the candlelight and some purple filtered light, results of some purple lacy gauze that she has layered over her normal lights in here. What can I do for you, dear?
Oh, you always seem to be in the middle of everything that's going on, so I figured if you were willing, I'd like to have a chat.
I'll always be willing to chat with you. Who knows? And she sort of like walks her fingers along your shoulder, maybe more than a chat.
So, first and foremost, I'll glance in whatever direction, the big cat area is in. You know anything about Fernando?
He's a jerk.
I mean the fact that he's not there.
Oh,
You didn't notice that he was missing today, and everyone that walked by the cats was, and he, lets out it's a little bit of a growl or a snarl, like they were disappointed. The rest of us just weren't good enough because we weren't a tiger.
well, of course they were disappointed. And yes, I did hear that they were disappointed, though I thought perhaps he was sick. That being said, I mean, look at us. I have no real tail to speak of, and you, well, spots just aren't the same as stripes.
All right. I was hoping you would have something on that.
Well, I might, actually, because if you recall, we were supposed to speak. From what I understand, you have partaken of the good stock. Is that pretty fair to assume?
I believe I was forcibly fed something that was not quite the good stuff, but near enough.
Then you should know that you need to guard that phylactery with your life, because it is your life now.
You know how all of these things are managed? How is a candle created by consuming this bizarre alcohol?
And she will go to her bookshelf and she produces a book that you recognize. You didn't really notice it in the shelf, but now you see it. It looks identical to the book that you were looking for, that the Jaguars had, and then it was taken by that maniac chimpanzee at the circus before disappearing again. But this one is different because Mina's is whole and complete. No pages are missing.
Stop copy, I imagine.
She has her own copy.
That book there is worth an awful lot to the right people.
Oh, I know. I know. How else do you think I knew where to look? What to look for? With that crazy ringmaster. He was stupid, though, and kept it in his bedchamber. Like, who does that? If I had a phylactery, I would choose to hide it somewhere deep, somewhere secret, somewhere sacred, somewhere that others wouldn't think to look. I don't, by the way, in case you're wondering. I don't think the immortal life is for me. There's always some
Really?
sort of string attached.
I didn't really seek it out. So.
And that's fair. That means you were fated for it.
Related. Have you seen or heard tale of these amalgamation creatures?
She pauses and she flips to the back of the book. This is forbidden, but it can be done. It is to be done only to those whom you hold in the most vile and reprehensible esteem. Those you truly hate. Because when you do something like this, and she hands you the book, and you can see charts and figures and graphs talking about ways to actually graft living organisms together and keep them alive. It's very necromantic in how it's laid out, circles and sigils and spells all woven together. This is the kind of thing that draws the sort of karma that damns your soul. No one just does this.
Somebody here has been doing it. You've encountered a handful of these things. There was a creature last evening that was an amalgam of at least 4 or 5 different
4 or
members
5.
of our zoo.
And she starts looking through the pages. You can't do 4 or 5. That's not. And she keeps like flipping. That's not possible, dear. You must have been dreaming.
There was a lion, a Komodo dragon, a goat, and a snake, and it had wings.
And she's like thumbing through it some more, and maybe. And she starts like writing on a piece of paper, and pretty soon you start seeing that she's almost like working like math, but with weird sigils and symbols. I suppose if you did it, 2 combined creatures that were already combined, you could combine another and then combine yet again. And she starts like explaining in this jargon that is frankly just above any sort of vernacular or vocabulary you would possess about mystical things. And she just is droning on and on.
Marry her.
for a good, like, probably 5 minutes, she's explaining how this would happen, all the intricacies, all the things you would have to like account for. And finally, she blinks and smiles. Understand?
You lost me very quickly, but I didn't have the heart to cut you off.
Oh. And she just like melts for a little bit when you say that.
I gather that you're saying that if you were to combine 2 creatures together and make them something new, and then combine 2 creatures together and make them something new, You then combine those two new creatures together. That makes 4 out of 2 that were 2. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. But it's only theoretical. There's no instruction for it.
Well, it is not like I would be attempting to do so anyway. That's not what I would have any interest in.
And it could very likely destroy the caster's body.
Do you know anyone here that would consider attempting these kinds of things? It's something that draws from hate. And I, as Ted, don't remember who the other specifics of the Chimera were, but I imagine Alejandro would have gathered that information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he'll deliver, Goatsby and the other 3 names: the Komodo dragon, the lion, and the snake.
I have no idea. I have no idea who could even do that to anyone. I was shocked when I heard about the carnival, but when I went to see with my own eyes, there they were. Amalgamations, chimeras, just in the exhibit. They were so miserable. They just needed to be put out of the misery. That human whisperer at least did the job, from what I understand.
Yeah, and Alejandro will get her full attention away from these creatures in the book. If she's looking at it at all, put a paw on it and close it and draw her eye to eye. The last thing I need to discuss with you. A friend of mine developed a picture last night, and it showed you looking in.
Looking into what?
I know you saw the koala.
I did.
Why were you hanging around?
Because I was looking for the predator. And obviously I found him.
And how long have you been sitting on this information?
Long enough that I have not yet been able to figure out how to deliver it. Obviously.
Who were you going to deliver it to?
You. I wanted to find his phylactery first so that you would know where it was should you need it.
Now, is there something, and I'll just kind of glance in the direction of the book, that says what this predator is?
Well, as best as I can determine, the predator had an incomplete dose of blood moonshine, which in theory could be remedied and help him retain his humanity if he were able to take enough lives for a ritual sacrifice before the blood moon 3 nights from now.
Got to do blood sacrifices before 3 nights are up.
More than 3 nights. But yes.
Is there certain qualifications for what these sacrifices are? And I'll start going through the names, and after each one, mention, they were wealthy. This one was affiliated with this mobster. This one was affiliated with that mobster.
And she sighs And there's like disappointment, but she's smiling. Dear, you need to understand something. When it comes to the world of magic and mystics, blood is blood. Blood or mud, it does not matter who you are born or who you become. All blood, all life is equal in a mystic sense.
So this is the mayor. Why can't they just haul in 8 or however many random people that they need and slaughter them all and have it done?
The sacrifice must be consumed. The predator is eating people. He's consuming the sacrifices in him. He's the conduit.
Now, a friend of mine has acquired a blade that is either laced with or made entirely of silver. He thinks this is going to stop the predator.
It might, at least for a time. It takes longer for your kind to recover from silver. But as long as the phylactery is intact, it can happen.
How do I find whatever this phylactery would be? Could it be anything? Are they all candles?
It's a candle. A life candle. It has your spark of life. As long as the wick remains uncut and the candle burns, you remain alive. Somewhere.
Question for Bobby. Did we acquire our candles or are our candles still out there?
Nope.
All right.
I was wondering when you'd get around to this very important thing that is crucial to us.
So, somebody did this to us. So, I have no knowledge of who would be holding our candle. Let alone, how to find the one for a koala. Is there a way to distinguish what these phylacteries, did you call it, look like?
Who turned you?
I think it was.
I believe it had something to do with Capone.
Well, then Capone will be the one to know where your phylactery is.
All right, well. So you've delivered, even though kind of got there first, the information about our darling mayor. Promise me you'll be safe?
I promise I will do my best to be safe. But in this world, in this time, such a promise is ultimately in question, foolhardy.
How about this? Don't be sticking your neck out without serious reason.
She sort of lays her paw on your chest. You're the serious reason.
Yeah, we can continue this after all of this has been resolved.
All right. And you owe me a bottle for this. She grins.
If I live through it, I'll get you a bottle, whatever you want.
Good.
And as I do, tip my cap and head on over to our General Hang.
Okay.
So, my understanding is we do not know who did this to us. We happen to be on a job for Al Capone. And
You do know who did this to you.
we do?
Yes.
Was it Barnaby?
I
was-
thought after Carl came back, he had said that we were on a job for Capone, and that we were basically guinea pigs to see whether this would actually work or not. And because we didn't
Mhm.
work for the outfit, we were legitimately disposable. If it didn't work, it didn't work. If it worked, it worked, and it kind of worked.
Mhm.
Oh, then I'm mistaken. Oh, I think we have new priorities then.
Yeah, actually the mouse, Raphael Toponi, confessed to being the one that figured it out.
Oh,
And then-
figured out how to mix it?
And he's the one that gave you the dose that you got.
But that's not Al Capone, that's the mouse.
Right, he did it for Al Capone.
Oh, we need to talk to that. We need to talk to that mouse and see who's got our candles. I think that's what I want to do. I want to get our candles.
Well, we got a party to go to first. I think.
In fact, he's catering said party.
Good. I'm looking for him.
All right.
We'll have to make some orphans tonight. Which is not violence against children, by the way. You're muted.
I'm muted. Okay. No, it's not violence against children, but you wouldn't be making them orphans. His wife is still alive. So they're fine. But also, if we end up doing that, I am going to make sure that their family is taken care of. I will literally move them into my house. Don't at me. I would feel so bad.
Listen, I'm not here to tell you what to do, so.
It's fair.
All right.
I'm
to the
also not
party.
trying to tell you what to do. I'm just pointing out that they wouldn't be orphans.
Nope, fair enough.
That's true.
Have to work harder.
So you guys are headed off to a party, if I'm not mistaken. So does anyone care to express how they are dressing or anything they are bringing?
Oh, would I?
I figured you would. So please, Robin, start us off. How is Jasper/Jade dressing for this event? And what are they bringing and how are they bringing it?
So it's an event. So Jade is coming out in force tonight. She is going to be clad in a short jade green gown because it's on the nose and I can't stop myself. And like one of those headbands with maybe like a peacock feather coming off of it and a long cigarette holder. And I've got like the dress is handmade. I made it myself and it's got secret pockets in it and stuff so that if I find something I can just squirrel it away in there.
Right.
Also tiny little hand purse because that was the style at the time and
Mhm.
cute little kitten heels.
Love it.
So I would say now, if anyone has start of the job abilities, would be
Mm-hmm.
so I'm going to use my network of ears and eyes because the last time I was in the mansion, I really did a very poor job of navigating it. And I would like to do better this time. So before I head off to the party, I'll have to stop and talk to a few people. All right, we got doubles showing, and that is a. That is a 9.
9.
9. That's a 9. So a 9 is gain 2 holds.
Did you do you have any bosses showing?
Nope.
Okay. So you gain 2 holds. What are your 2 holds? Talking to your favorite drunken squirrel friend.
Yeah, this guy. So I guess I want to know if there's any secret ways in or out.
So he thinks for a moment. Actually, I think there was something about some secret entrances to that mansion on the island. Something about the tunnels beneath the entire zoo.
All right, so I'll talk to him for a while and sketch out a rough map of what he's thinking.
Okay.
And for my second hold, I want to know if there's a financier behind the party.
A financier. Well, in what capacity, I guess, is what I want to know.
Okay, so someone's got to be running things without goat speed.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's anyone that would be above goat speed, or maybe someone that goat speed would trust more than no one else.
So he kind of thinks for a moment. Galtsby's the one that's supposed to be running that show, but if anyone was going to run it, I suppose, well, word on the street is that he's real close with a coyote banker, Nick Carnivore.
And he is already known for breaking taboos. So maybe we should split the party. Maybe why some of us investigate the party, some of us should try and break into Nick Carnivore's office.
Ooh, we're splitting the party. Is that what we're doing?
I don't know. I'm going to bring it to the group and see what we think.
Being sneaky is not really my thing.
I mean, someone's behind all this.
So we got Jade, who's the talker. You've got Flick, who's the investigator. So they're very obviously on different sides. Flick's gonna go into the office, and then you've got Carl and Alejandro that are both like, all right, point me at a thing and we'll kill it. Just different avenues. So it's like, all right, well, which direction do you want what?
Jasper, Jade, do you want Carl or do you want Alejandro?
A very good question indeed.
Jade, give me a get out of a jam roll real quick. Because there's information that you have that I think you as a player may have forgotten.
12 total.
The chimera that you guys fought that got away went to that island.
I'll point that out. So which one of you hits harder?
I slowly raise my hand.
Okay, then you're the one that's going. Or you could just go to the party and wait for us, and we could go together. Unless you're doing it because everybody's distracted right now, but there is one entity that will definitely not be distracted right now.
Well, on the plus side, Alejandro, if you go with me, you don't have to see that jerk for that.
We don't know where Fernando is.
He might be the next victim. For better or worse.
It's entirely possible. Plausible.
If you think he was insufferable before, wait till they do their weird, creepy voodoo stuff to him.
So,
Do you think they're gonna mix him with a peacock?
I don't know what they're gonna mix them with. So I lay down all of the information that Mina shared, and say that once this party is resolved, I'm sorry that we have more problems to add into the fire, but we're gonna have to get a conversation with the mouse or with Capone or something to try and figure out where our candles are and to make sure that they are protected.
All right.
Because if our wick gets cut, as they say,
Maybe
then we'll stop healing.
maybe we call it a reliquary rather than a phylactery when we're talking to the mouse. It means something else in Jewish culture.
Okay. I don't know the word on either direction. It is just what Mina referred to it as.
I don't even remember why I know that. I pick things up some places, but
Sure. You can call it whatever you will, but it's a
Important.
vessel that houses something. So, use that term if you want, vessel.
Yeah,
I mean, we know they're candles. It doesn't really matter. We'll get the information.
Yeah, we'll call it a reliquary because I just figured out it's not the same thing. I was using a D&D term.
Sure.
well, you're a resident expert on mouse culture, so
So yeah, we'll call it a reliquary.
Flick and I are gonna go break into an office.
well, actually, probably his house, right? I think you do we think we'd be better served by breaking into his office or his house? I mean, diabolical stuff. I don't think he's going to keep it the
Even a rod.
odd.
You think you'd be better served actually looking at his office because his relationship with Goatsby was, for all intents and purposes, when it comes to above the table, professional.
Hey.
So I rolled for my tools of the trade, and I've still managed to not roll well enough to actually be able to get and keep one.
Okay.
And it holds true here. I have a 7. I'm trying to just have a silencer. So is it the same deal as last time? I get it, but it's on loan.
This time you get one that's broken. Like it's good for a little bit, but it has a chance of breaking completely every time you use it.
Oh, lovely.
So
Okay.
yeah. Anyone else got any other start of job things they want to do? All right. So you guys tell me, do you want to go to Nick Carnivore's office first or the party first?
Oh, let's go to the party first. Ted had a pretty big scene. So,
Okay.
Sure.
So
Who's to
that
go?
means Jade and who? Is it Carl that's going with Jade?
Yes.
Okay, so Jade and Carl, the two of you show up fashionably late, as is the sign of the times, as it were. And when you show up, all of the yard lights are on. All of the house lights are off.
Full outside?
And no one is outside.
I'm gonna just pull Carl over into some bushes or behind a tree or something.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't like this. I don't like this one bit.
I mean, it's pretty quiet over here.
Yeah, there is clearly not a soiree going on in this place.
But there are golf carts parked everywhere. Like people showed up to this.
Oh, I don't like that. Do you think maybe the only reason that we're not disappeared like everybody else is because we were late?
I mean, either that or they're maybe doing a silent party, category, something like that.
Let's prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Do we go looking for them or do we run and save our own skins?
Literally, as you start saying that, he's rolling up his sleeves in case he gets dirty. I'm hoping for the worst. I'm prepared for the... Here we go.
Uh,
I think. I think. Might do a little bit of snooping around.
All right. And if there's no one out here, maybe there won't be anyone inside either, and we'll have a good chance to. Hmm. Do any of these golf carts look familiar to me?
Yes. You recognize the signature and oh so ostentatious black golf cart of Henrietta Ford.
Oh, I'm gonna look through her glove box.
You find so many mints. It's wild. It's like a drawer full of the grandma candies, just like pours out.
I pocket a couple tins of those, shove the rest of them back in, and close it again.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what I expected. All right, let's get in there.
Okay. You
I would like
guys.
to make a paltry effort to be sneaky.
Sure. Sure. Love paltry efforts to be sneaky. Just go ahead and commit a caper just to see where we're at with that, if you don't mind, please.
Absolutely.
I guess if you're being sneaky, you want me to be sneaky too, I'm assuming.
11.
11. So you are quite sneaky, Jade. You're good at being sneaky.
I guess I'll make an attempt at being sneaky. Since,
Okay.
You know, I mean, what's the point of she being sneaky? If it
Right.
got me, I fuck it up. But that's not what I want. Oh. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, with a straight 0, so 10 on the die.
Okay. Okay. So you both are quite sneaky. The front door with these, it's a really a two-story door. Like the entire first floor is actually more like 2 stories tall by itself, because this was a very ostentatious manor. It was a very fine manor, and there are windows everywhere on the outside of this building. And the doors themselves almost look like they are composed of windows, because they are supposed to let everyone see everything, right? That's kind of the design. The doors are open, not wide open, but cracked open. And being sneaky, you don't miss that there are blood droplets on the carpet in here.
Like that. I think we should follow them, though.
I would have to concur.
Okay. So you guys follow the blood droplets. They lead you up one of the twin staircases in this entryway that goes up to the second floor. Jade, you're familiar with this path. It's where you went to the powder room. You're now, as you reach the second story, on level with the massive glass chandelier, the Art Deco tassels hanging from this thing that just does not work right now because it seems the power in this building has been cut.
Bobby, can I just say that I love that we were in this building earlier for an honest to God party, and now we're in here where everything is creepy and awful again, and it's like the perfect juxtaposition from that first scene.
Well, I'm so glad you like it. You won't like it in a moment, though,
Oh, I'm
because
sure I
you
won't.
found even more blood up here.
Yep.
On this second story. And this amount of blood here is more than you would find in something like, say, a squirrel or a mouse.
Mm-hmm.
And so you continue to follow the blood trail past the powder room. And each of you can put your peepers to work for me.
Gotta be flipping kidding me.
10.
10.
And I have doubles.
Well,
Do you have any
I-
bosses showing?
No, I don't have any bosses showing.
Okay.
And these don't matter unless I have bosses showing, do they? I'll remember that.
No, it does matter. You get
Oh, okay.
a +1 forward.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Let's take a +1 forward. Thank you.
Actually, it's the other way around. Bosses don't matter. Unless they're
Ah. Okay, thank you.
So you're on the
So-
right track.
So, I failed that.
Okay.
And I think I'll just take my XP so I can level up. And it's triple twos.
Okay. So,
Bad one.
Jade, you hear something coming from behind one of the doors.
Okay. I want to slip
Do
and...
you have Sirenscape open?
I do.
Okay.
I want to slip and step behind where the door is about to open so that it opens and obscures me for me.
Okay, are you opening the door?
I know, I'm waiting for them to do it and listening. And if they don't open the door, all the better.
They don't open the door.
Do it.
Bobby, what am I hearing? Oh, okay. God, I wish I could see more of what was going on in there. It would be too convenient to have our small teammate with us right now. I'm going to look through the keyhole.
Okay, you look through the keyhole and you see a mouse on a shelf.
Oh, is it our mouse?
It's your mouse.
I'm going to open the door, get in there, and collect him.
Okay, you open the door and tied up and gagged on the shelf is Raphael Toponi.
Looks like somebody's been reading you like a book, and I will reach up, pluck him from the shelf, and remove the gag.
Oh, you have to get out of here.
All right.
He
Second
took it.
last.
He took the reliquaries.
All right. Where did he take them? Because we kind of need to get those.
I don't know.
Who's he?
The mayor.
Okay. Okay. You know he's the predator?
What?
So
He's-
how much does this change the situation?
Oh no.
Yeah, I was afraid you'd say that.
Oh no. He was the first to come to the party and he hit me on the head, and when I woke up I was here, and then I started hearing screaming and violence, and then it was quiet, and then there was more screaming and violence, and it was quiet, and there was dragging. I've been in here.
Okay, there's a lot of blood outside. They've probably been dragging people off somewhere. There were a lot of people at this party. We can just let them die. That is a thing that we can do. We can just decide to leave. I don't know if I can. But you probably should.
I don't know what I would do. I've made a mess of things.
What do you
I
mean?
made a terrible mess of things.
Hey. This is not your fault. You were pressed into this the same as us. Your family is not in a situation where you can afford to be putting your morals before your needs, right? So go home.
I'm so sorry.
No. This is not your fault.
Not to be that dude, but I wonder if I could use wild to intimidate him to feel better.
You know that he already doesn't like you, and you have a -1 going forward with interactions relating to him.
Sure, I mean, I think I can still do it.
Sure, if you want to try.
Works.
What are you saying to him?
Well, first we'll see what I get. So it's gonna be 8, 9, 10. You said it -1 forward.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 9 total.
Okay. So what are you saying to him?
What I'm gonna say is this. Look at you, so sad and whatnot. Boo hoo, I did bad. We all do bad. It's what you do with it that makes you good.
Oh, we're
Pull it
definitely not
together.
good.
Uh, uh, well, I will go
Okay. Go
because
hug
I
your
need to get
kids.
home to my children,
Yes.
and I don't know. The owl won't be happy about this.
Oh,
Let us take care of that. Go home. We'll probably come talk to you later. Hug your kids. Try not to step in the blood on your way out. You don't want to track that in. We'll see what we can do about this, and we'll let you know what happens, okay?
All right.
Tomorrow, my place, sometime around noonish. If I'm not there, just go because if I'm not there, I probably got captured.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. And thank you again for all you did for my family
Of course.
the other day.
If I'm not there, let my sisters know to go to their auntie's house.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. Go be safe.
I will. And he scurries off. He stops for a moment when he sees the blood and then just kind of skirts around it and keeps going.
So, this is probably going to be a fight. Do you want to go get our friends first? Do we have time to get our friends first? This is probably going on right now. But with all this blood, people are probably already dead. So I don't mind going if you want to go.
and I say let's get him.
All right, let's get them. But smartly. We'll go quiet first. And if there's like a ton of them down there, then maybe we don't go in guns blazing.
Yeah. We gotta retreat. We do it tactfully and strategically.
Cool. You know, says one of the least strategic people on this team with the other least strategic. Who let us be a party together? All right, gonna follow the blood and see what's down there.
Yeah.
All right. So, as you are following the blood, you trail down one hallway, then another, and you realize that this entire upper level is made like a maze to be super efficient for space, but it also kind of makes it labyrinthine in a way that's maybe not really pleasant in this particular situation. The paintings on the walls that depict things like dogs playing poker and whatnot almost seem to follow you with the sheen of their eyes in the painting, but it's not like Scooby-Doo where there's actually eye cutouts in the painting. It's just an illusion of the dark. But
sorry?
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say I'm pointedly not looking at these paintings as we walk by.
Okay.
Oh, I don't like that.
You hear something behind you.
Look over my shoulder.
The
Actually,
shadow.
Steven, instead of looking over my shoulder, can I like get my compact out of my purse and look?
Absolutely.
That is what I do.
You look. You see a human. You see the human. The missing zookeeper. He's looking into your compact, but his eyes aren't humanoid at all. They are yellow and have slits like cat eyes. And that's when you realize that his face is attached to a tiger's body.
Oh, Sphinx style. Okay.
Or manticore. Because there's also a scorpion tail attached to this thing.
I don't suppose you want to talk.
I can talk.
But do you want to?
No.
Okay.
He said he'll fix me if I stop you.
Stop us, but not kill us. Stop us from doing what?
From going further.
Okay, but theoretically, he did this to you in the first place, yeah?
Yes.
So what if we just kicked his ass and made him fix you?
Rolla starts spitting.
Theoretically, I'm good
he's
at
thinking
this.
about this.
Ooh, 12.
Well,
love
that's
that
great.
12.
We love that 12. No doubles?
No doubles.
Okay. I'm interested. But what makes you think you can?
Well, it's not like you can kill us.
He took a tiger. He took
Mm-hmm.
a human. He took everyone that was outside.
Yeah.
They're probably already fused themselves.
Uh-huh. And that's probably over half the zoo, and we're not going to let that stand. I bet none of them are going to want to let this stand either. We're not fighting alone. We're fighting with everybody who's pissed at this guy, and that's going to be everybody else. Are you sure you like his odds?
I'm sure that I know that he can take most of you.
At the same time?
Maybe. He took an entire room full of people.
All right. So we talk to him. I'm convincing you I can do him too.
That's a fair point. You need to be careful with this one.
Okay.
He is so much stronger and so much faster and so much more ruthless than any creature you've ever encountered.
There are more important things than strength and speed. And there are worse things than death.
You can say that again.
If it can be done, it will be. If we have to figure out how to do it ourselves, it will be.
Be careful.
Will be. Promise.
It hurts.
I don't doubt you at all.
Everything hurts. Make it better.
Okay. I will do everything I can for you.
And with that, we're going to cut over to Nick Carnivore's office. You arrive at the banking establishment. The bank itself is actually the entrance of the zoo. The barred doors, the barred windows that are normally used for selling and accepting tickets are also used by tellers for giving out and accepting peanuts in mass. It helps that the food court is just nearby and that the store of peanuts is in fact connected to this particular building. It seems like business as usual here, in fact, tonight. Weirdly. People coming, going, giving their deposits, doing some withdrawals. What do you do?
So we have to figure out where Nick Carnivore's office is. Like, he's the head of the bank. He owns the bank, right?
No, the guy who owns the bank is Buck. What's his first name? His last name is Buck. He's a deer.
Okay.
But Nick is like his right-hand man.
Okay. So, I want to check out the lay of the land.
Okay.
Do either of them appear to be here and working?
So, when you come into the entryway, right, there is in fact a giant chandelier here as well that is very similar to the chandelier that is found in Nick Carnivore or in Jay Goatsby's mansion. Tom Buck is the head of the bank, and he is a large and broad stag deer. He has massive antlers. He is a 12-point buck. Like, he has the most ostentatious, gaudy antlers, and he knows it. He loves it. He is here, as is Nick Carnivore. They are currently in their offices, which you can see behind two of the ticket stands. And both seem to be consulting with different animals about loans.
sit and wait it out there, Flick?
All right, so
I thought he was supposed to be at the party.
yeah, I would think he was supposed to be at the party too, considering everything that we know. Okay, we don't have our grifter with us, but that's okay. I would like to try and get an appointment with Nick Carnivore.
All right.
And and basically before, like, I'm just gonna quick pen up a quick letter and like ask the receptionist to hand it over to Nick. And basically it's going to state who I am and that I was referred to him by Jay Goatsby, and we need to meet ASAP because you know what this is about.
Okay. So this ostrich lady, she's older. She has those glasses with the chains that come down. She's wearing a blouse and a scarf and far too loud perfume for her station. And she takes the note and says, "Hold on one moment, dear." And she sort of like sachets her way over to the desk of Nick and just slides this letter across the table. And then she comes back and returns to her business. Next, Nick takes the letter, and within seconds, he has said something to cause whoever he was dealing with to leave, shaking his hand and thrilled. And then they walk off. And he looks at you, makes eye contact, and ushers you over.
I, of course, follow, like I belong.
Good evening, Nick. We'd like to have a conversation with you. It should probably be private.
He referred you to me, did he?
Well, not.
Are you the reason that he's been avoiding me?
Oh, we definitely need to talk.
And he looks around. Come with me. And he takes you back to this vault with all of these deposit boxes and safe boxes.
Yeah, I think I twitch a little.
And he sits down at the table there. There's 2 chairs across from his at the table. He gestures for you to sit in them.
I do, and I gesture for Alejandro to have a seat as well. This is going to be a much different conversation than I anticipated. How long's Goatsby been avoiding you?
Few days.
Days. Why aren't you at the party?
He didn't invite me.
It's your blessings.
What did you say to him? What did you do to him?
Oh, somebody
thought we had an understanding.
We do, and somebody did something to him, but it wasn't us.
What, is he okay?
He's wrapped up in this predator nonsense.
Oh gods, did the predator get him?
Worse.
Not exactly, but you need to tell me everything you know, and you need to start talking fast.
Okay, so like he got his fortune via some questionable means with Al Capone. He has some friends, but then he double-crossed her and was involved with Otto for a little bit, which is how I met him, because of Ma Barker and all of her gang, her kids, her pack. And I know the owl wasn't happy about it, but like he seemed to be happy. It let him leave his life at the... And he kind of pauses and lowers his voice. He's not a mountain goat, okay? He's actually a farm goat. But he wanted to leave that life behind. So he got the right connections, and he managed to convince everyone that he was a mountain goat and got in a different enclosure and started a new life for himself.
A lot more respect for old Goatsby than initially. That's gonna make this next part especially hard. Do you know about any of the other strangeness that's been going on in the zoo?
Like what? The fires? The fire, I have nothing to do with that. I don't know anything about the fire or the missing zookeeper.
I'll reach over and kind of like grab Nick's paw and kind of cup it in my own. Start shaking my head. Nick, you poor bastard. You have no idea. This is far worse than you thought. There is really strange, bizarre things happening in the zoo right now. The Predator is only part of it. And I don't know what Gatsby's story in all this is, but he's in deep. And I don't know if he's going to be able to come out of it at this point.
Is he okay? Is he alive?
Oh, yeah, I guess. Kinda. So...
You guess? And he kind of growls like that coyote growl for a second, like, and he catches himself and he's like, what are you trying to tell me? What are you not telling me?
The Predator was made. Someone is making monsters here. They're taking other animals and smashing them together like some bizarre Frankenstein. Have you ever heard of the legendary Chimera?
I mean, I've heard urban legends about a lot of monsters.
You know what a chimera is made of in mythology?
What?
A lion, snake, a dragon. Oh.
And when you say this, his eyes get really wide. What are you trying to tell me?
That fire last night was set by a chimera. This is the strangest, bizarre combination we've seen yet. There's wicked black magic going on in this zoo. I thought maybe you might be behind it. I can see. You've been totally blindsided. But I don't know if we're going to be able to save Goatsby or the rest of them. But we've already lost friends to this madness. And, you know, forget Al Capone and the Otter, even him being, none of that matters anymore. Because what's going on is so much worse. Goatsby had experiments going on beneath his island. I don't know how involved he was. I don't know if he was a pawn. I don't know if he thought he was masterminding things. I don't know if he created the Predator, or the Predator created him, or if there's somebody else.
Goatsby wanted nothing to do with that life. He told me, he swore to me, he got out of everything. That's why he threw the parties, to keep everyone happy, to make them not want to involve him in any dirty business.
Well, this is the dirtiest business of all. This magic has been imported straight from the jungles of Central. Or whatever the place is called in this one. And it is not nice at all.
So what happened?
You don't
What
know
happened
exactly.
to Jay?
We don't know. Someone is taking the zoo animals and smashing them together. And, you know, every time we think we know who's doing it, they die. And we're left still not knowing who's actually doing this madness. We were hoping, to be honest with you, I was going to break into your office, ransack it, and see if we couldn't find anything useful. Apparently, that's not going to be the case.
I
Did you hear or see anything crazy about the carnival that was here last week?
the carnival. Yeah, we went to go see the carnival. We went on the sly. Nobody thought too much about it.
Did you go and see any of the crazy creatures that were there?
The freak show? Yeah. Yeah, but it's all tricks and, like
No.
stuffed stuffed cloth and things, right?
No.
We wish.
The baboon that was in charge of that was a masochist. He delighted in torturing animals, and they didn't do what he wanted. And he would make them into something else. We thought he was the one behind. We dealt with him. Craziness continued.
No.
I was brought from the wild into the zoo, and I saw, to use the same term as my colleague here, dark magic out in the wilds.
No.
We're seeing it here as well.
No. You're telling me that Goatsby was put into something like that?
Unfortunately, yes.
And like before, his disbelief was kind of like forcing this like unhappy smile, while the tears behind his eyes just kind of sat there threatening to come out. And when you say this, the tears start rolling and he just doesn't, he looks almost empty. There isn't anger, there isn't sadness, there isn't pain, there's just nothing and tears rolling down his eyes.
Now, I don't know what can be undone. We're regretfully fumbling our way through things that really shouldn't be known. No one should do that. But we will try our best to get you your friend back. But I make no promises.
Get out. Get out. And he like slams his paws on the table and just leaves.
Yeah, I'm gonna check out some of this deposit box on the way out. Like opening, randomly scooping into my pockets.
Sure.
Ugh,
You can absolutely do that. There's a couple that are still open.
That was totally bugging me the whole time there, Alejandro, but now I feel better. Well, this was kind of a bust, but at least we eliminated one suspect. Should we go visit a party? I know a secret way in.
And when he says party, Alejandro, it's familiar. It is your vision just boom. And it's like you're looking from above, like you were mounted on the ceiling somewhere. You see Jade talking with a tiger with a human face, conversing apprehensively but calmly with Carl standing beside. And just as quickly as it started, your vision once again just boom, back into your body again.
What the hell? Oh, we have to move quickly because Jade is talking to another creature that's been amalgamed or whatever terminology we're using.
Personally partial to Frankenstein, but sure, let's hurry up and get over there.
Mush.
That's the technical scientific term, mushed.
I don't know. I like amalgamation. It's a fun word. It's got a lot of syllables.
I like amalgamation too. I was just being a little shit.
So we'll double time over there.
All right. So you double time over there. Meanwhile, Jade, your conversation with this creature has just concluded.
All right. Well, in that case, we don't know that help is on the way. I suppose I'd just be going in the direction of the guy.
What guy?
Following the blood trail, going where we
Okay.
were going.
Okay. So you continue to follow the blood trail. And it leads into what looks like a study.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a library. The walls are lined with books. This is a human-sized study. It's a very small library, but the books are packed in. And the books range from zoology to like business and finances. If you want to look more at the books, you can put your papers to work. Otherwise, you notice that the blood ends halfway smattered in the carpet, halfway under one of the bookcases.
I will take a better look at those books.
Okay. Give me put your papers to work.
Okay, but let me specify first. I'm not looking at the titles or anything. I'm looking to see which one of them has been pulled recently to see if any of them are out of line with the rest of the spines.
Okay.
I continue to have my dice be on fire tonight with a 10.
Okay.
This time it is doubles.
Okay, so the doubles mean that you get a +1 forward.
Excellent.
And you see that one of the books, a book on cryptozoology of all things, doesn't seem to really be a book at all. It's fake.
I'm also going to open it when I pull it out.
Well, you can't open it. It's not a book. When you pull it, it's connected to like a toothed lever, and it cranks, and it sort of like tilts.
See, when you said it's not a book, I thought it was like a box that was made to look like a book because I have one of those on my shelf for important items. I figured it was more secure than a safe.
I actually have multiples of those in my house. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. No. This is not a book because it is, in fact, a lever disguised as a book.
Makes notes to self if I ever break into either of your houses.
Good to know.
Dave, you don't have to break in. If you're looking for something, just tell me and I'll give it to you.
Right.
It's far less fun.
That's fair.
Than hunting for false books.
In that case, if I have to hunt you down, I'll do it with a Nerf gun.
There you go.
And so as you pull this lever, you see that one of the bookshelves raises.
Okay.
And there is a tunnel behind it, and just a very short tunnel because then it leads into a spiraling staircase down.
I lean back to Carl, I smile, and I say, Alonzi.
Yep, let's do it.
All right, who's going first?
I'll go.
Okay.
Because this time I'm not trying to be quiet. I want to talk to him, and if he thinks I'm sneaking at first, that's not going to be as easy.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you enter this room, and right around the time that you hit that second stair, you hear that the bookcase closes behind you.
Carl, do me a favor and check and see if you can figure out how to open that. I keep going.
Okay.
Sure.
You don't have to open it right now. Just see if the like means to get back out of here is as obvious as getting in.
I guess that's to get out of jail.
It's put your beepers to work. Seven. So you do find there's a success with a consequence here. So you do find that there is a brick that needs to be pushed inward in this tunnel, and it causes the bookshelf to rise, and your consequence is a choice. Either the bookshelf stays stuck open or it slams closed and gets jammed.
Well, you can give me my decisions like that. I mean, either close or jam, or stuck and open. Stay open, I suppose.
Well,
Especially
good.
if this is the only way
Okay.
out.
Because we need to get out and OOC, we know our friends are coming and we don't want to lock them out.
Right.
Yeah, well, obviously, like, because if I know it's gonna be the only way out, or at least I'm confident it's the only way out. I'm like, shit, man.
No, I
Okay.
hard agree with this decision entirely.
So, real quick, just so I have an idea, Alejandro and Flick, how are you getting to your friends? Are you taking a golf cart? Are you walking? Are you doing something else?
I think
I imagine we were using feet unless we see a vehicle that we can just swipe real quick, because not looking to cause delays, but we want to get there as quickly as possible.
we're in a hurry.
Pick even or odd.
Even.
What do you pick?
Even.
Even? Okay. There is a taxi outside, actually.
Let's flag them down, jump in, tell them we want to go to Goatsby's Island.
Okay. And the taxi cab driver is a crocodile, and he kind of like leans back and he almost half hits his mouth on that bar in the on the golf cart because it's just too long. He's like, "Oh, you invited that fancy shindig, huh? All right, I'll get you there." And then he floors it. And you guys are off in the golf cart. So, yeah. You guys are going to get there in record time because the cab driver has no semblance of a concept of speed limits.
Sweet.
Perfect. We're going to have to get this guy's contact information. We might need him in the future if we have one.
I don't know why, but when I heard all that, like, I immediately thought of, I don't think you guys ever seen Halloween Town. You know, the cab driver from
Yeah,
Halloween
that's
Town?
actually what I was thinking
Oh,
of.
okay, cool. That's cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So he just like floors it and y'all are off. And meanwhile, back at the island. So Carl, you figured out about the door and now it's broken open.
So I turn around, find Jade. Yeah, it was of poor quality and broke, but we still have a way out.
Good. Thank you. That's honestly the most important thing. And I don't think it could hurt us if somebody happens to come along that and come down the path, do you?
Unless they don't have our well-being in mind, but then again,
They have
No
bigger
one-
problems.
yeah.
Brofist. I continue.
Jade, you go down and down and down and down. Past what you're sure must be the first floor of Goatsby's Manor, and further you walk. Your heels clicking on these very tight tunnel walls. It bounces everywhere. It dances. It gives the illusion that you are walking in multiple places all at once. And eventually, you find the bottom, probably 2 more stories below ground level. And it opens out into a slightly larger tunnel with water dividing the middle of it, flowing like a river. This is very much like a sewer system, but the water here is at least, and so gratefully, fresh.
Okay, that's good. Which means that we have a path to follow. Do we know which way to go? Is there still blood?
There is still blood here.
Okay.
And you've noticed that once you round the first corner, it opens up into a labyrinth where there are T's and alternating pathways and alcoves everywhere.
Oh.
And as you pass that very first alcove on your right, you see a circle of a familiar type to you. Blood everywhere. And there are 2 candles on the table, but both are snuffed.
Is there anyone in this room?
Well, you can't see from outside the room.
Okay. Other question. Is it reasonable to assume I have my little sewing kit in my purse? Because I know I have makeup in there, but not everybody carries one. And if you say no, I will understand.
I think that it makes perfect sense for you to have it just because at such a fancy party, if there were something to go wrong, you would want to be able to hem your dress quickly.
I think so too. All right. In that case, I want to take a little thread out of it and tie it off on something and use it to mark our path through this labyrinthine tunnel. And at that point, I'm gonna get my little mirror out and like kind of check around the edge and see if there's anybody in the room.
Okay. Let's put your peepers to work because this is a little important. Nine. So around the same time that the golf cart screeches to a halt in and among the myriad golf carts outside, which neither of you underground will hear because you are underground so far. Both Flick and Alejandro will quickly realize there are many golf carts parked here and there is no one outside having a party. The lights in the house are off, but the lights outside are on. But there is something going on inside, deep below the mansion. And as Jade is using the compact to look into the room, you see hanging on the top of the corner from a rafter is what looks like a chicken. But the chicken has one Connie Stricter attached to the back end.
Oh no, like a cockatrice? Really?
Yep. And Henrietta Ford, who is now a monster in the outside as well as the inside, swoops down in your direction. And that is where we're going to cut it for tonight.
So much monsters and mayhem. Thank you very much, Bobby, for running another excellent session of Zoo Mafia with your own warped, twisted spin on things. Thanks everyone for playing, and then obviously thanks everyone for watching. Just remember, link is down in the description to be notified when we relaunch the Kickstarter so that you can have your own copy of Zoo Mafia. With that, until next time, stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.